Welcome back to BL1 webinar series. This is the second session. In this session, I am going to explain you source document. So, when you heard this source document session, right, you can come to this conclusion. What is that conclusion? Source document we have learned from O level to A level. This is the third time we are learning. So, this is very easy thing for us. I know. This is very easy, but intention of this topic is to explain these documents through practical business process. That is what is important. I can say invoice means when you purchase goods, seller give you a document which is called invoice. That is correct, but how it's happened in the process, understanding that is much more important, no? That's why you have a chapter called business processes in BL5. Auditing paper, financial control, audit and digitalization, business process, audit and digitalization. Business process, that's why those chapters are included there. Those who are doing BL5, this is important. Right, purchasing process I am going to explain you and explain all these source documents, right, nicely. I will map all those documents into this process, right. We will go through it, do not worry. Before that, the importance of maintain financial record, topic deviated, no, from source document to financial information, no. Source document is what? Is the first step or initial starting point of what? Financial records. No financial record without source document. That is the relationship. Because your accounting process, I explained you last time, start with what? Start with source document. Your transaction and events, those transaction events where you do your record, first source document. From source document to primary books, from primary books to general ledger, from general ledger to what? Financial statements. Read this. It is very important that business keep financial records. Where do you keep financial records? In source documents. As this may be required by law, invoice is important for legal purpose. Why? Tax authorities will come and ask, you have sold this much of goods last year, give me all invoices, source document. You have paid for raw material suppliers, give me those purchase invoices, source document. You have paid transport, give me bills, source documents. You have purchased a land, give us a deed, document, right? By law it's required to keep, and also essential for control purpose, not because of law. We are keeping invoices, quotations, debit note, credit note, all documents, source documents for controlling purpose. Why? Sales invoice will be approved by sales manager as well as maybe finance manager, which means controls, approval, right? Payment should be approved, payment voucher should be approved, petty cash voucher should be approved by whom? Relevant authorities, maybe finance. Right? Those are what? Source documents, controlling purpose. Financial records are also used to construct financial statements. Financial records are also used to construct financial statement, which means we use source document to prepare financial statements as well as for legal purpose as well as for controlling purpose. Three purposes I told you. What are they? To prepare financial statement, definitely we will use source document. For legal purpose, you will maintain source documents. Third one, for controlling purpose, you will keep what? Source documents. Accounting records will consist of what? I told you, source documents, primary books, general ledger, and financial statements. That's the importance of maintaining financial record through what? Source document. Types of source document. What are the types of source document? There's a list of source document. Invoice, debit note, credit note, remittance advice, receipts, quotation, purchase order, sales order, GRN, delivery order, DO, AOD, and DN, supplier statement. I can explain you the definition of each and every document, but you don't know how these documents used in where? Process. Therefore, let me explain these documents through a process. That's why I told you this session is much more important, because practical application I am going to explain you. How do we use, how invoice will generate, by whom, at which point. That is important. Everything is perfectly understand. And that is a complete picture. Right? Fine. Let's start. Don't worry about this source document now. Forget about it. Listen to me. Now let's say you need to purchase 10,000 fabric yards. You need to purchase 10,000 fabric yards. When you take this decision, what is the first thing you need to do? First thing is you need to find out appropriate supplier. Number one, supplier selection. Supplier selection. You need to select appropriate supplier. What factors you will evaluate when you select supplier? අපි නන්නේ CR පතක් ගන්න ගිහිල්ලා කවුද මේ ලංකා කඩෙන් ගන්නවද නැත්නම් සුපර් මාකට් එකට යනවද නැත්නම් බුක් ෂොප් එකට යනවද? Do we have that evaluation? No. When you take a printout, to which shop, which communication, which book shop should I go? I don't have that proper decision making. You will go to nearest shop. That's how we take decision in our personal life, day-to-day life. When you take a trishaw, red color trishaw, green color trishaw, the black color, do we have that mindset? No. What is come first, you will pick up that. But when you take decisions, this kind of decision, take purchase of 10,000 fabric yards, you can't say, no, you can't take those decisions in that way. First thing you need to evaluate is what? Think about this. Number one, price. Now things will come to your mind. Not only price, quality. You will evaluate price, quality. Third, discounts. Discounts. What else? Lead time. You will evaluate lead time. Number 5, maybe transport. Transport and capacity of that supplier. Do they have capacity to cater to my requirement? So these are the basic factors you evaluate. When you select supplier to purchase what? 10,000 fabric yards. To purchase 10,000 fabric yards, when you select supply, these are the factors you evaluate. How do we evaluate these factors? You will insert these parameters and we will send a document to supplier. Take this information through quotations. Through quotations. You will call quotation. Then suppliers, different suppliers will send their price, quality parameters, discounts that they can offer, lead time, and whether they are providing transport or not, their capacity. They will include all these things and quote, which is called call quotations. From quotations, you will select finalize supply. Finalize supply. Right? Done. Number 1. Once you finalize your supplier, what is next? What is next? Supplier select kala hoinne naha. You have to tell him, look here supplier, please send these goods. Call එක through the. You can't call them and tell. You can't call them and order goods, which is not appropriate. Now Uber Eats වගේ බෑ වැඩේ කරන්න. කතා කරලා. Right? Even though Uber Eats, you have document, no? That's a formal order. That's also one way of ordering goods nowadays. But formally, you have to place an order, which is called order placement. Number 2. Order placement. අපි දැන් supply කෙනෙක් select කරා. Order එකක් place කරන්න යන්නේ නේ. How do we place orders? I need to purchase 10,000 fabric yards. There's a requirement. There's a requirement to purchase. How do you communicate this to supplier? Raise purchase order. Purchase order. අපි ඒකට කියන PO. Purchase order. Purchase order raised by whom? Purchasing department. Let me change in this way. Order placement responsibility lies with whom? Purchasing department. අපි නම් procurement කියලා. Department. There is purchase order. අපි කියන PO. Purchase order. Right? This will be sent to whom? Supplier. Here you have finalized supplier. Right? This purchase order will be sent to whom? Supplier. Correct, no? Purchase order sent to supplier. Right? You finalize supplier here. Right? Through quotation, you finalize your supplier. You place order to that finalized supplier. In purchase order, you will include what detail? Right? What are the details? Right? Date of purchase, item, description, මොනවද ඕනේ බඩු, description, price that you have given here, price එක දීලා තියෙන price එක insert කරන්න, quantity 10,000 fabric yards, right? And this should be approved and authorized. I told you, if you can remember, we use source document for controlling purpose also, no, right? Here, control. Authorization approvals. So these are the basic details. They are in the purchase order, right? Which will be created by purchasing department and sent to whom? Finalize supplier, right? Supplied order එකක් දුන්නා. Done. ඉවරයි. Right? Third one. Order placement එක ඉවරුණාට පස්සේ මොකද වෙන්නේ ඉතින්? Supplier දැන් බඩු ටික ගන්න ඕනනේ. Receiving goods. Receiving goods. Now we are going to receive deliveries. කාගෙන්ද අපිට goods receive වෙන්නේ? Right? Receiving goods. From whom? From supplier. Supplier. From this finalized supplier, you are receiving goods. Right? You receive goods, how much? 10,000 fabric yards at, let's say, 2 per yard. Total value 20,000 rupees. So with this you will receive from, with these goods you will receive from supplier invoice and delivery note or delivery order, advice of dispatch, delivery note, එහෙම නැත්නම් gate pass. එකම නම. delivery order, order කරනම deliver කරන්න. Right? Now you can dispatch. Advice to dispatch, advice of dispatch, AOD. Same document. Delivery note, deliver කරන note එක. Gate pass, gate එකේ එළියට යන්න දෙන අවසර පත්‍රය. Gate pass. You are receiving these two documents from whom? Supplier. Invoice එක හදන්නේ supplier ගේ finance department. Invoice prepared by whom? Finance department. කාගේද? Suppliers finance department. අපි එහෙම දාමු. Right? Seller. Or seller. Right? Supplier ke finance. Supplier, seller, finance. Gate pass. Supplier, seller ma thamai store department. Because they are the people who dispatch goods ne. Finance department gila warehouse එකෙන් ගිහලා බඩු ටික එල්ල දානවා එහෙම නැහැ. Supplier ගේ warehouse එකෙන් තමයි බඩු ටික යන්නේ store එකෙන්. එයා තමයි delivery එක order කරන්නේ, right? Based on invoice, dispatch these goods. Dispatch note. Delivery note. Advice of dispatch, gate pass. And this will be raised by store warehouse. In other words, that is also from suppliers or sellers, store and warehouse. Invoice will be raised by whom? Suppliers, finance department. Suppliers, finance department. Done. One of them බඩු ටික ආවා. Receive goods. Supplier ගේ මේ ටික ආවා, right? Receive goods. Received goods. බඩු ටික ආවා. Then what's to where you are receiving goods? කාටද දෙන්නේ බඩු ටික? Purchasers warehouse. The ඔයාගේ warehouse එකේ purchasers warehouse. You received 10,000 fabric yards. I don't want value because store department they don't worry about it. Store receive goods to warehouse. Oh, store. Store. Receive goods to warehouse. 10,000 fabric yards. Out of 10,000, 2,000 damage. Damage. sorry, let me put in this way. So when you receive this 10,000, right, 10,000, you have to accept these goods. Then you have to accept. Accept goods. Goods tika bahara ganna be. Supplier ayuwa 10,000 into 20,000 worth of fabric through invoice and dispatch note. You received that to warehouse and gate store. How much? 10,000 fabric yards. You have to accept this. When you accept, you have to raise another document which is called goods received note. අපි එකට කියනවා GRN. When you accept goods, බාර ගන්නකොට බඩු ටික, you raise what? GRN. So when you accept goods, you have to check purchase order versus invoice. Warehouse department, what they do? They check this purchase order against the supply invoice, right? When they check purchase order against invoice, all right. If everything is match, you raise goods received not for match quantities, right? So let's say you have received PO mentioned 10,000, right? Invoice also 10,000, fine. But physically, right? Physically, you had 8,000. බලන්න. PO එකේ 10,000ක් තිබුණා yards. Fine. Invoice also mentioned 10,000 yards. That's also fine. හරි වැඩේ. ගානට එනවා. Right? But physically you identified only 8,000 items. GRN will raise for 8,000. අපි accept කරන්න කොච්චරද goods received? 8,000. Physically 8,000 තියෙන්නේ. Right? Physically 8,000. GRN, goods received not, will raise for how much? 8,000 units. Done. Then 2,000. Invoice එකේ දැන් තියෙනවා 10,000ක් කියලානේ. Invoice for 10,000, no? Invoice for 10,000. Therefore you have to raise return note. To return 2,000, balance 2,000. For balance 2,000, you raise debit note. Debit note will raise by whom? Customer. The person who purchase good. Purchaser, whereas customer. You are the customer now. You raise debit note. On behalf of this debit note, supplier will raise what? Credit note. Make it up in a debit note. DN. Supplier will raise what? Credit note. Supply will raise credit note. අපි කියනවා CN. Done. හරිනේ වැඩි. කොහොමද උනේ වැඩි? Supplier send 10,000 into 20,000 invoice together with gate pass. Don't misunderstand. Invoice එකේ තියෙනවා both price and quantity. Both price and quantity. DO එකේ තියෙන්නේ only quantity. ඒකත් හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න. Include invoice එකේ කොහොමද තියෙන්නේ price into quantity. Value එකේ තියෙන්නේ basically. Value. This is called value. Right? But in debit note, sorry, not debit note, delivery order, advice of dispatch, the delivery note, gate pass has only what? Only quantity. Price is not there because store department they don't worry about price. They make sure what? Accuracy of quantity, not the price. They always worry about quantities, not the prices. Store managers' duty is to maintain accurate quantity, not the value. Can warehouse manager maintain accurate value? No. If you purchase this at 20, he can't maintain this at 20. Because the market condition and whatever the reason, this will be up or down, price. But if you purchase 2, you are responsible to make sure, yes, you have 2 units, 2 quantities. Fine, done. Only quantity, both price and the quantity. Clear. Right, fine. Then when you receive goods, 10,000 fabric yards you are going to accept. PO 10,000, what you have ordered, purchase order also 10,000 into 2, right? Because price is 2 given by supplier through quotation. Quantity is the requirement. So purchase order has this price and quantity. Invoice also you have price and quantity. Right? Invoice also price and quantity you have. When you check purchase order 10,000, invoice also 10,000, but physically 8,000. Therefore, you accept only 8,000. Since invoice mention 10,000 quantity, you have to raise debit note. Right? Debit note to return this, not physical, to recover or to balance this 10,000 against 2,000. Raise debit note to return goods. Right? Let's say physical, I will change this. Good quantity. Good quantity 8,000. Therefore, you accept only 8,000 good quantities. 2,000 you have to return. Then you will raise what? Debit note. Then it is easy to understand. 10,000 kaava, PO ke 10,000 thina, invoice ke 10,000 fine, but good quantity 8,000. And accept karane ke 8,000. Balance 2,000 you will return through what? Debit note. Customer will raise this debit note. Anne ekam uttara return karana kena. Return karana purchase kalinne purchaser kawuda customer. Right? Purchaser will raise debit note. Supplier, seller will raise credit note. Annode patla ganna api. Debit note raise karane kawuda, credit note raise karane kawuda. Mehmai තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ. 10,000ක් ආවා 8,000ක් හොඳයි 2,000ක් සවුත්තුයි quality failures. You have to return කරන්න ගන්න කවුද? purchaser නේ. purchaser return කරන්නේ. purchase return කරනකොට raise කරනවා debit note. On behalf of that debit note, supplier will raise what? Credit note. Supplier will raise credit note. Understand? Fine. බරු ටික ආවා හොඳ ටික ගත්තා නරක ටික අයින් කරා. Done. Are you happy? No, I'm not. Then you have to make the payment to supplier. Finally, make the payment. Make the payment. When you make the payment, there's important control which is called three-way match. BL5 webinar series will explain this control, don't worry, which means simply you match 3 documents together, finance department. This will be done by finance. Finance එකන තමයි වැඩේ කරන්නේ. මොනවද යා කරන වැඩේ? Purchase order plus invoice match to what? GRN. මොනවද අපි order කරේ? මොනවද සප්ලයි වල තියෙන්නේ මොනවද අපිට ඇත්තටම හම්බුනේ බලන්න කවුද ෆයිනෑන්ස් කන්ට්‍රෝල් එකක් නේ අපි ඕඩර් කරා පර්චේස් ඕඩර් එකක් සප්ලයි ඉන්වොයිස්ඩ් it we accepted it make the payment if all these three match together make the payment pay and raise payment voucher this is the end This is starting point. Start and end. Right, start and end. Now look at these documents. First invoice, කවුද බලන්න? කොහෙද raise කරන්නේ? මේ number 1. First document, very clear in this process. Who raised to whom? Right? Number 1 ඉඳන් මෙතන number 2 යනවා මේ. මෙතනින් මෙතෙන් යනවා. This is the process. මේ එහෙම තමයි යන්නේ. Right? Debit note මෙන්න number 2. දැන් මම ඔයාලට explain කරන්නේ source document. මට දැන් explain කරන්න ඕනේ. You know the process. Invoice, debit note, source document. In this transaction, purchase of 10,000 fabric yard, end-to-end transaction you can see. What are the document? Number 1 invoice, debit note when you return. Credit note, supplier raise. Number 3. Remittance advice. When you make a payment, right? When you make a payment, payment voucher will be generated. Bank will send you payment advice. All documents are in red color. Let me. Right, pay. Then payment voucher will be raised. Then bank will send. Sorry. Yeah, bank will send what? Bank will give you payment advice. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි කියනවා remittance advice. Remittance advice. Payment advice. Bank අපිට කියනවා yes, we make a payment. ආයකට දෙනවා payment advice. Remittance advice. Number 4. Invoice, debit note, credit note, remittance advice. Who is giving remittance advice? Banker to confirm the payment. Receipts. Receipts means when you make a payment, this will be received to whom? Supplier, no? This will be received to supplier. Then receipt means payment voucher basically. This will be given to whom? Supplier. This is the receipt. That is not much more important. Quotation. Number 5. Quotation. To get these details. To select supplier, you will use quotation. Do I need to explain? No. Purchase order. Number 6. Do I need to explain? No. In the process to execute purchases, you will raise purchase orders. These are the details there in the purchase order. Raised by whom? Purchasing department. Sales order, very important. Purchase order raised by whom? Purchaser. And send it to finalize supplier. Purchase order will be sales order. Right? This purchase order will be sales order for whom? Supplier. Supplier and supply කරන්නේ යා sell කරන්නේ supply තමයි sell කරන්නේ. Number 7. Purchase order අනිත් පැත්ත sales order. If I purchase this marker pen from Atlas, I will raise purchase order to Atlas. That will be sales order to them, no? මම මේ හිතන්නේ මම මේක purchase කරන purchase order එක ඔයාලට දෙනවා. එන ඔයාලට මොකක්ද ඒක? sale order එකක් නේ. අද අනිත් පැත්ත. GRN number 8. මෙන්න. GRN is the document you will use to accept goods. Accept goods. That will be raised by whom? Warehouse department, store department. GRN will be raised to accept the received quantity. Supply statement. Finally, supply statement. Important. 9. Supplier statement. At the end of each month, we ask supplier to send us how much of outstanding do we need to pay for you. Supplier will tell, alright, first order you send me, number 1, 10,000 fabric yard at 2, you have to pay me 20,000, and that is 1st January. 1st January and 11th January, another 5,000. At 3, 15,000 you need to pay. And 20th January, another 2,000 fabric yards at 5, 10,000 you need to pay. These are the 3 transactions happen during this month. 20,000, 35,000, 45,000. This is the total outstanding you should pay me, which is there in supplier statement. Month end ගන්නවා. හැම supplier කෙනෙක්ම send us how much we need to pay for you. Supplier will tell these are the 3 transactions occurred during these days. These are the values. Please pay me. That's all. These are the purchase order numbers. Purchase order numbers also will be included. Otherwise, they don't know. And they will include invoice numbers also, because for each and every purchase order they will raise invoice. So invoice and purchase order number also will be included in this supply statement, right, for better clarity. So finally, at the end of each month, you will receive this supply statement. So supply statement detail, what are the detail? Date of transaction, quantity, rate or value, purchase order number and invoice number will be mentioned, right? Done. So source documents we understand with practical workflow. I think this is much more important. Visualization. End-to-end purchasing process and all source document used during this process. Who raised at which point and the purpose of that document I explain. All red color things are documents. Important to understand. Done. That's how you should learn source document. Otherwise, no point of going through list of source document and without practical understanding, no point of learning source document. That's why I took you through this practical purchasing process to explain source document. Okay. After source document, what is the chapter first of all? Source document and financial record. We went through source document. Now, source document you will take into where? Primary books. Then source document කතා කරා. මේ source document වල තියෙන transactions and events we need to take into what? Primary books. How many primary books are there? There are 7 primary books in your syllabus. What are they? Number 1, sales day book. Normally we use to record all credit sales. Purchase day book. We use to record daily credit purchases. Sales return book. Sales return book. Normally we use to return sales. Normally we use to record returns. Purchase return. Purchase return and sales return. It's like this. If I purchase 2 marker pens from you, it's a purchase for me. If I send 1 marker pen to you, I will record what? Purchase return. For you, it will be what? Sales return. Purchase return normally recorded in through debit note. It will be a sales return to supplier. Therefore, in supply book we will record what? Credit note. And sales return and purchase return will happen through what? Happen through credit note and debit note. Credit note and debit note. Then journals described in next chapter. Therefore, I am not worrying about journals much in this session. Cash book. All these payments you record where? In cash book. Right? You record in cash book. That's also a primary book. Then petty cash, day to day, urgent expenses or ad hoc expenses. How do you manage? Through petty cash. For petty cash also I have a nice story. Let's discuss that also after this primary book discussions. So I don't have much more calculations. I'm not trying to discuss with you much more questions on these primary books, because O level, A level in both subject and previous webinar also explained properly these primary books. Therefore quickly I will take you through each and every, because I have a plan to explain another important element, which is petty cash process. Sales day book is the book of primary entry for credit sale. I told you, daily credit sales you record where? In sales day book. Format is like this. First you have a date, then you have a invoice number 247, first invoice number. If you look at the screen, customer J company, S company, A company, E company, there are a lot of customers. For each and every customer you have solved credit on credit basis, 105, 86.4, 31.8 and finally 1264.6. Altogether 1487.8 is the total credit sales value of that particular day, which is 2021 January 10th, that day. Boot sale and shoe sale. So there are two product. So product classification also you can insert. That's sales day book. Look at this purchase day book, other side of it. The purchase day book is the book of prime entry for what? Credit purchases. So all credit purchases will be recorded where? In purchase day book. There also you have date, March 15th. Purchases will be done by whom? Supply. Therefore, instead of customer, you have supply name, C company, WB company, EEB company, and SF company, supplier's name. So total invoice value for each and every customer, supplier is there. At the end of the day, 561,000 purchases happened. Purchase for resale and expenses also there. Maybe purchase expenses. Sales return, very important. Sales return, I told you, sales return managed through what? Credit note. Because if you receive something from purchaser which you have sold, you will raise what? Credit note. When customer returns goods, which means purchaser, customer means purchaser, return goods for same reason, for some reason, maybe quality failures, maybe you have sold wrong item, you have sent wrong item at wrong price, because of different reasons they will return to you. Then you have to raise what? Credit note. All credit notes are recorded in sales return day book. All credit notes you will record where? In sales return day book. An extract from sales return day book as follows. How? Date of return, credit note number. When you receive goods from suppliers, returns, for each and every return you need to raise what? Return credit note. For each and every credit note there should be a number. So credit note number you will maintain where? In sales return day book. The amount also you will record. Sales return day book is the book of prime entry of credit note raise. Very important. දැන් ඕක පටල ගන්න ඉඳලා මම එහෙම කිව්වේ. බඩු හම්බෙන්නේ කාටද? සෙලර්ට. සෙලර් තමයි ක්‍රෙඩිට් නෝට් එක රේස් කරන්නේ. එවන කෙනා තමයි ඩෙබිට් නෝට් එක රේස් කරන්නේ, which is purchaser. Right? එහෙනම් sales return එකක් වුණොත් අපි manage කරන්නේ through what? Credit note. Purchase return day book. other side. Not surprisingly, the purchase return day book records credit note received from credit note in respect of goods which business sent back to suppliers. Purchase return book normally managed through what? Debit note basically, yeah, not credit note, right? So you have a date, supplier return to whom and the amount. So purchase return day book is the prime entry of what? Credit note received from supplier. Normally you are receiving debit note from supplier, it should be changed as debit note. Cash book, right? Cash book is also a day book. All receipts, cash receipts and cash payments record where? In cash book. That is also a day book. Used to keep record of money received and money paid out by business. All money received and money paid will record where? In cash book. This could be money received, the cash book deals with money paid into and out of the business bank account. So when you receive money to bank account and when you receive money, when you paid out expenses from bank account, both you will record where? In cash book. This could be money received on the business premises in notes, coins and checks and subsequently paid into the bank, right? So all money received as checks, coins, notes, everything will be recorded where? In cash book. On other side, left side, occasional payment, fourth point, for odd item of expense accounted for separately in petty cash book. So occasional items, right? Sudden expenses we will manage through what? Petty cash and record in petty cash book. One side left and other side right in this cash book. Left side you will record cash receipts and other side you will record cash payments. So left side receipt, right side payments, you know that, right? Fine. Then bank statement. Bank statement. Bank statement means your cash, payment and receipts other than petty cash managed by whom? Banker. Customers will deposit money or pay sale amount to whom? Banker. So banker will receive cash, coins and notes and checks, and you will instruct bank to pay out to suppliers. So banker will do that. So banker will do transaction on behalf of you, which means the receipts and the payment. Finally, bank will send you at the end of month statement mentioning all receipts and the payments. All receipts and the payments will be there in that statement, which is called bank statement. Month end, banker will send you. Normally weekly also you can take it. Weekly or monthly, a business will receive bank statement. Bank statement should be used to check that amount shown as balance in the cash book agrees with the amount on the bank statement, and that no cash gone missing. Always when you check your internal cash book with bank statement, you can see where things will go wrong, right? අපි ඒකට කියන මොකද? Bank reconciliation. This agreement or reconciliation of cash book with bank statement, we call it as bank reconciliation, is subject of the chapter later. There's a chapter called bank reconciliation. In that you will understand this in detail. So bank reconciliation means you match bank statement into your internal bank book records. You match receipt in your bank book to receipt in bank statement. You match payments from bank statement to bank book. Yeah, that's all about bank statement. Now petty cash, very important process. Let me explain it again. right, through a story. Let me erase this first. Right, petty cash process. So you need to understand petty cash process first. Transaction you can easily manage if you understand petty cash process. So what are the expenses? So what kind of expenses? You record in petty cash. What kind of expenses you record in petty cash? Right? You record traveling, stamp, and stationery sometimes, ad hoc purchases. Refreshment, right? Refreshment. This kind of expenses you manage through what? Petty cash, right? So what is the double entry accounting? Accounting part well aware, no? How? Debit expense, credit petty cash. When you pay for these expenses, your petty cash, cash out, no, cash credit, expenses will debit, right? This is for expenses. When you receive cash, receive cash to petty cash, petty cashier. Petty cashier salli hammenne be going arne. Petty cash handled by whom? Handle karne kanata. Managed by whom? Petty cashier. What expenses managed by whom? Petty cashier. When you receive petty cash to petty cashier, petty cash debit. Petty cashier salli avane. Petty cash එක debit no account එක. Credit bank account because bank වෙන් තමයි salli එන්නේ bank account. කවුරුද දෙන්නේ නැහනේ. බැංකුවෙන් ගිහලා salli දා ගන්න ඕන petty cashier. Main bank account එකෙන් credit වුණා. bank account එකෙන් salli එළියට ගියා withdraw කරා petty cash එකට ආවා. මේන accounting. මේන double entry. ඔච්චර double entry accounting. Petty cash. Right? But it is very important to understand the process also. Process also. Let me explain. HR manager right instruct HR assistant, right? HR manager instruct HR assistant to purchase, right? To purchase, let's say, to purchase refreshment from PNS, right? Refreshment. This is expense. For next day meeting with Labour Commissioner. Labour Commissioner එනවා හෙට HR manager කෙනා refreshment එකක් ගන්න Perra and Sons එකෙන් PNS වලින්. Right? There are two ways of doing this purchase. Then තමයි මේ කියන්නේ. Now the time is 7 PM. රෑ 7යි. දැන් ඉතින් ඔෆිස් එක වහලා මට සල්ලි ඔෆිස් එකෙන් ගන්න විදියක් නෑ. I can't take money from office. Ideally I should reach to home petty cashier. මම මෙයා ගාවට යන්න ඕනි. සල්ලි කීයක් හරි ඉල්ල ගන්න. දැන් බෑ. So what HR assistant can do, morning he can walk to PNS and purchase and buy refreshment. Total cost 3,000. එයාත් උදේට කාලා තමයි වැඩේ කරේ. 3,000. Fine. Now this amount you spend from on money, which means HR executives money, on money. This should be reimbursed. Reimbursement of expenses. Right? Reimbursement of expenses. Right? Reimbursement of expenses. Reimbursement of it. Because you have spent from your own pocket, own money. No? Therefore, you have to reimburse. Reimbursement of expenses. Reimbursement of expenses. मैं आना reimburse करने का क्या होता है? Petty cashier का होता है. He go to petty cashier to reimburse. Story का पहले करेगा ना. क्या किया लगी ना? HR executive, petty cashier. HR manager asked me to purchase this refreshment for meeting with Labour Commissioner. I got to know about this meeting and he called me around 8:30, 7 PM yesterday night. So I can't come in office and collect money from you in advance. Therefore, I spend my own pocket. Now I need to reimburse. Good. This is how petty cashier reply. Good, but I can't give in that way. Can you fill this document? Petty cashier is giving instruction. Can you fill payment voucher? Petty cash payment voucher. Payment voucher. For this, you have to take approval from HR manager, because he asked you to purchase, no? HR manager, and this should be authorized by finance. If you come up with this proper process by filling payment voucher, I can reimburse money. චක්‍රේ පැහැදිලිනේ මෙහෙම යන්නේ. එයා සල්ලි ලෙනවා එයා බෑ කියනවා. He asks you to fill this document, payment voucher. ඒක approve කරගන්න HR manager කියලා. And it should be authorized by finance. Then come to me. Then I will give you money, reimburse. How much? 3,000. Then expense will be refreshment 3,000, debit, petty cash credit 3,000. Petty cash credit 3,000. Done. Another way of doing this transaction, this will happen if he called you and asked to purchase refreshment night, night time. You can't reach to petty cashier. Now during daytime, HR manager met executive, HR executive and asked, Saman, tomorrow I have a meeting with Labour Commissioner. We need to give him some refreshment. Please arrange those. Now during the office time, he can reach first to petty cashier and ask money. Now reimbursement will not happen in this case. Second scenario. Right? HR executive ask money from petty cashier. Petty cashier කියනවා no I can't give. මේ ඉල්ලන්න සල්ලි දෙන්න බෑනේ මට. Right? මොකද බැරි? HR manager මට කිව්වේ ඒ වගේ ඉල්ල ගන්න කියලා. To arrange refreshment. එහෙමද? Go and fill this document. Right? petty cashier ආයෙ දෙන document එක. ඒකට අපි කියනවා I owe you. petty cashier කියනවා if you want, right, this is number 1, right, fill this document, I owe you. I owed you. SMS language, I owe you. මම ඔයාට ණයයි. petty cashier කියනවා මගෙන් ණයක් ගන්නෙ. I owe you. How much you want? 3000. Sorry, 4000. මට දෙන්න රුපියල් 4000ක්. 4000. 4000කට IO එක නිකන් දාලා බෑ. It should be again approved by HR manager. Authorized by finance. HR should prepare, finance should authorize. Done. HR should prepare, finance should authorize. Clear? For this, petty cashier will give 4000 rupees. 4000 rupees. 4000 rupees. හරිනේ? ණයක් දුන්නා දැන්. Since this is a loan, small loan, I owed you. මම ඔයාට ණය. It's a loan, short term loan. Maybe for 3 days, 3 to 5 days. මේවා දෙන්නේ එන පොඩි කාලයකට. petty cashier දෙන්නේ loan එක. 3 to 5 days. Therefore this should be settled. Should be settled. This should be settled. නැත්තව ණයකාරයෙක් වෙනවා. දැන් එයා එනවා මෙතන settle කරන්න. To whom? petty cashier. petty cashier කියනවා හරි හරි. වා settle කරන්න ආවට මට කමක් නැහැ. කොහොමද settle කරන්නේ? You have an invoice for 3000 balance cash 1000. 3000 නැත්තිවීද මේ අපිට දන්නේ නේ. 1000ක් වැඩිපුර safe side ඉල්ලලා අපි දන්නේ නැහැ නේ ගණන් කොහොමද කියලා refreshment වල. Invoice value 3000, balance cash 1000, 4000 happen like that, right? Then you fill a document, sorry, you will come up with this detail to petty cashier will say no. You prepare payment voucher again. මම දන්නේ නැහැ 3000 හරිද වැරදිද කියලා. වා 4000 loan එක ගත්තේ ඇත්ද? I don't know whether invoice value 3000 or less than that or more than that. I don't know about it. Therefore, fill again payment voucher for 3000. Right? 3000 expense. And give payment voucher with approval authorization together with plus balance cash. Balance 1000. Right? So then no reimburse, it's not a reimbursement. Double entry. Expense before that, before expense, you have to record what? Cash advance, ne? Cash advance. Cash advance na? cash advance, debit cash advance, credit petty cash. කොහොමද entries ටික යන්නේ? I'll erase this. 3000 මම අයින් කරන්න දැනට. අපි IOU based transaction එක බලමු. cash advance එක ගත්තා 4000 debit වුණා accounting. petty cash වලින් ගියා එළියට 4000. right? payment voucher එක දැම්මේ 3000. ඇත්තම වියදම 3000. එහෙනම් expense 3000. petty cash වලින් යන්නේ 3000. sorry. petty cash යන්නේ නැහැ නේද? cash ගිහලා නැහැනේ. expense 3000, cash advance credit 3000 minus 3000. debit එක credit වුණා. right? cash advance මෙතන plus කියන්නේ debit minus කියන්නේ credit. expense debit වුණා, cash advance credit වුණා 3000. right? then cash advance එකේ තව එකක් ඉතුරු වෙලානේ 1000. cash advance should be, loan should be settled. මේක 0 වෙන්න ඕනේ cash advance. 0 කරන්න තව minus කරන්න 1000ක්. minus 1000 when you hand over balance cash. loan is settled now. plus 4000, 3000, 3000 plus 4000 minus 4000 settled. plus here credit and debit to petty cash 1000. right? debit to petty cash 1000, or else you can put somewhere here. not credit, this is minus plus 1000. Already 1000. so ultimate transaction is what? debit expense 3000, credit petty cash 3000 में, credit petty cash 3000. this is 0. so ultimate transaction is that. when you settle cash advance, the double entries will go like this, right? plus කියනවා T account එක ගහලා බලන්න, plus මේක credit මේක. that is simple accounting, right? fine. so there are two types of petty cash transaction. one is IOU based transaction, other one reimbursement of expenses. in both cases you will use payment voucher, right? only for actual expenses. payment voucher will raise for actual expenses. That's how petty cash transactions happened. And you need to understand, IOU has to be settled within shorter period of time, maybe 3 to 5 days maximum. Organization to organization this can be changed, right? fine, done. Petty cash process we have done. Let me explain petty cash equation, that is also important to understand. දැන් අපි කතා කරන්නේ IOU කතා කරා, අපි කතා කරා payment vouchers. so there's a formula for petty cash, right? there's a formula for petty cash. let me draw it, let me explain it. fine. petty cash formula. Let's say no IOU. If there is no IOU process, normally you have petty cash float. Petty cash float. අපි කියන impressed. Petty cash impressed means organization to organization that can be debated, that is the maximum limit. Limit of cash that can keep as petty cash, maybe let's say 100,000. The max limit. At any given point you can keep maximum 100,000 as what? Petty cash float. අපි කියන float එක කියලා. So from this 100,000 you will use different purposes, and finally maybe you will end up with 10,000, let's say. දැන් තියෙන 10,000යි. Maximum you can withdraw from bank and fill another 90,000. Again, the float will equal to 100,000. This is the float. This is the float. In a petty cash equation, like a petty cash, 100,000 petty cash float. Petty cash float should equal payment voucher. For all these transactions, when there is no IOU, there should be payment voucher, no? Payment voucher value plus balance cash, 10,000, balance cash. Main equation. Your petty cash value how much? 100,000. Balance cash, you have 10,000 in your hand here. I told you the balance after spend on these expenses, which means expense payment voucher value 90,000. 90,000. Right? This is petty cash equation formula. Petty cash float equal payment voucher plus balance cash. Let's say IOU is there, IOU available. In that case, let's say these are IOUs unsettled. Right? Settle na madakada. Settle na advance account එක 0 වෙනවනේ. IOU එකක් දෙනකොට cash advance account එක through දෙන්නේ නේ. Right? Settle නම් 0 වෙනවා. Unsettled නම් තමයි balance එකක් තියෙන්නේ. Unsettled IOUs plus payment vouchers. Settle නොකරපු IOUs තාම settle කරලා නැහැ. සල්ලි වලට ගිහිල්ලා. එහෙනම් equation මොකද්ද? Petty cash float equal payment voucher. මෙන්න payment voucher ටිකක් තියෙනවා. හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න IOUs නෙමෙයි unsettled IOUs. IOU plus balance. Let's say unsettled IOU is 50,000 and this is 40,000 payment vouchers. So then how equation equal? Maximum interest amount, the float, how much? 100,000. Out of that payment vouchers 40,000. Unsettled IOUs 50,000 තියෙනවා. Loan අරන් settle කරලා නැහැ. Balance 10,000. Because if you, why we use unsettled හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. If settled මම ඔයාලට prove කරලා පෙන්නුවා in previous conceptualization. වීඩියෝ එක පොඩ්ඩක් රිවයිස් කරලා බලමු. මේ හරිය මම explain කළා. cash advance එක මොකද වෙලා තිබ්බේ? මට මතකයි. plus 4,000යි cash advance එක ගන්නකොට expense එක minus වුණා 3,000ක්. තව 3,000ක් minus වුණා petty cash balance එක hand over කරනකොට. මතකද? minus 4,000 plus 4,000 settle කරාට පස්සේ ඒක settle කරලා නැත්නම් මේ plus එක විතරයි ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ. අන්න ඒ plus එක තමයි අපි මෙතන ගන්නෙ. Unsettled. Right? Unsettled. 50,000 තියෙනවා. This is the petty cash formula when there are IOUs. If IOUs are not available, this is the petty cash formula. So more than petty cash book, right? Preparation of petty cash book. This process understanding is much more important. Much more important. Keep that also in your mind. Fine. Now look at this. Most companies keep petty cash on the premises. තමන් ඉන්න තැනම තියාගන්නවා. එහෙම තමයි තියෙන්නේ petty cash on the premises. Make occasional small payment in cash. Then and there when there is immediate cash requirement, you will use petty cash float. Example, staff refreshment, postage and stamp, pay to office cleaners, taxi, fares, all these things. But let's say to pay electricity bill, don't use petty cash. You can't use because those are scheduled recurring expenses, not ad hoc. To pay employees' salary, use petty cash. No, you can't. I forgot to tell you, there's a time period to settle IOUs, and there's a limit per transaction also normally, per transaction, because you will keep always small amount of money. If someone come and ask, give me 100,000 IOU, one time transaction, all things will be finished, no? So therefore maximum, if you have 100,000 petty cash amount, maximum amount may be transaction 10,000. That depends. There's no hard and fast rule to define this. Per transaction value should be less than 10,000. More than 10,000, don't use petty cash. Those controls are there. Otherwise, 50 worth of transaction and another 50 worth of transaction, petty cash interest gone. That can happen. Therefore, to avoid it, you will use what? Limit per each and every transaction, right? Impressed system, which means the amount of money in petty cash is kept at an agreed sum of float. I told you, float. Impressed can agreed amount එක අපි තියාගෙනවා. 100,000 is the impressed. ඒකට අපි petty cash float. Always you maintain a petty cash float, which is called impressed system. Most of the companies use impressed systems, which means they have a limit, maximum cash limit. Maximum you can fill up to that point. Beyond that you will not fill that. So petty cash book format you have in the slide. So receipts, how much? 25,000 rupees you have received 1st September, that is balance carried forward. Out of 25,000 you have petty cash expenses, milk. So then petty cash book credit, milk expense debit. You have a only petty cash entry here, other entry will be there in other side, right? Milk bills, then postage, petty cash credit again, taxi fee, petty cash credit again, flour and flowers for staff, sick staff, leddu balanna denawa, right? And finally, when you deduct all these expenses, which is 19.5 from 25, sorry, after deducting all these things, carried forward value will be 19.5, which means you deduct 2.5, 0.5, 0.1, 0.15 from 25. So the balance carried forward amount is how much? 19.5. So impressed amount may be in this case 25,000, right? And there are a lot of petty cash transaction happen. Finally, you have brought forward balance 19.5. Maximum amount that you can reimburse, how much? 6.5, which is the sum of payment vouchers. There is no IOU in this case. Done. So there are few questions. There are 5 questions. Let's try these 5 questions. Name 4 pieces of information normally shown on an invoice. Invoice එක තියෙන information හතරක්. අපි දෙකක් දැනටම දන්නවනේ. Price and the quantity. And it should be approved. Price and the quantity මොකේද? item description. කවද්ද invoice එකේ date? කවුද approve කරේ? finance. කාටද විකුණන්නේ? supply name. Description of goods, price, quantity, value, if there is applicable tax, tax portion, approval, date, customer name. How many informations? Take 4 as answer. Which of the following is not a primary entry? Sales invoice, purchase day book, sales day book, journal. Don't do that common mistake. Sometimes people will consider that journal also a primary book. But sales invoice, is it a primary book? No. Sales day book is a primary book. But sales invoice what? It's a source document. But examiner is asking what? Primary book. Right? Books of primary entry. So he is worrying about primary entry. Right? He is worrying about primary entry book. Not about source document. But sales invoice is what? Source document, not a book. අපි දැක්කම sale day book sales invoice එක sales day book එක විතර ගන්නවා. Common mistake මං කිව්වේ. Step number 5. Don't do that. Question number 3. What is the purchase return day book used to record? Purchase return day book? Sales suppliers invoice. Suppliers invoice will not record in return book. Customers invoice? No. Suppliers invoice, purchase, sales day book. Customers invoice? Customer කියන කවුද? බඩු ගන්න කෙනා. Sales day book එකේ තියෙන එක. Supplier කෙනා sale එකේ. Details of goods returned to supplier. Purchase return. Goods returned to supplier. That is the answer. Goods returned by customer. It's sales return book. And D can sales return book. Correct answer is what? C. The petty cash book records payment into and out of the bank. True or false? Petty cash book record payment into and out of the bank. True or false? Think about it. It's false. Because petty cash records what? Physical cash outflows, inflows, and inflows not there basically. Inflows are there, but there is a reimbursement of petty cash float. සුළු මුදල් අග්‍රමේ ප්‍රතිපූර්ණය කරාගෙන අන්න එක receipt එක. All physical coins and notes movement you will record in petty cash book. But cash received to bank, petty cash records payment into and out to bank account. Bank account එකේ petty cash එක දානවද නේ? Wrong. For that you will use what? Cash book, not the petty cash book. Cash book එකේ තමයි cash in and out to bank you will record. Fill in the blank. Fill in the blank එකක් තියෙනවා. මොකද්ද? Cash still held in petty cash. Cash still held in petty cash. Balance. Plus. මොකද්ද? Payment voucher. Equal impressed amount. Float can impressed amount. There's no IOU. In the absence of IOU, unsettled IOU, petty cash equation equal payment vouchers plus cash balance. Here, petty cash held in petty cash, which means cash balance, balance cash, plus what? Fill in the bank, payment voucher amount equal impressed amount. So during this session, what we have discussed so far? Primary books, source document with case study, which means business process understanding, through business process understanding, and petty cash transaction, how do we account petty cash and how do we manage petty cash process in practical business environment. And finally, we discuss what? MCQ questions. So that's all about what? High level summary of source document and financial records chapter. So for you to take hands-on experience on primary books, I recommend you to refer study pack with this understanding and do some computations, because last webinar series we did those. I wanted to give you high level understanding here, right? Fine. That's for this session. We'll meet with another important session during next webinar session. Thank you.